Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction video. We're going to go back to our friend StarvHarv today. If you're not familiar with him, a lot of the videos on his channel concern running historical events through several rounds of Google Translate and then putting them back into English and see what we end up with. And we've done some other reactions to his in the past, and I'll put some of those links down in the description as well as up on the end screen at the end of this video. But this is his latest one, came out a couple weeks ago. It's Annihilating American History with bad translation. So we're going to have some fun, we're going to laugh, but I'll also do my best to try and figure out what in the heck he's talking about as we go along and try to decipher some of what's being said about American history. The link is in the description to the original content if you want to check him out and see some of his other videos as well. Let's go ahead and dive into this one.
I translated Wikipedia's timeline of American history from Christopher Columbus all the way to the modern day, using languages with terrible translation quality, and this was the result. On October the 12th, 1492, 3 Spanish ships under Christopher Columbus, whose name is San Salvador, landed...
So San Salvador is actually what they named the place where they landed. I think it's is it Holy Salvation or Holy Savior?
On the island of Gohani. On November the 14th, 1493, the Spanish truck was led by the Holy Cross, Columbus. I like how it's not a Spanish truck, it's the Spanish truck.
I'm just waiting for when he is going to make an appearance, because we know he has to show up at some point. He.
November 19th, 1493, Columbus, copyright, landed on the island of Dabergen, a key island in San Juan Bautista, now part of Cambodia. And the United States. How does Cambodia always have this like global reach? How does that even work? How do they share the island? On Easter Sunday, April 2nd, 1513, the Spanish invasion, led by Juan Ponce de la Aslam.
I'm guessing this is supposed to be Ponce de Leon.
Later danced. It landed on a huge island known as the mainland island.
Florida.
It was named Pasqui, Florida. Now,
yeah, because remember that Christopher Columbus never actually sets foot on the mainland of what is today the United States. Most of where he landed was Caribbean islands. I think he did briefly touch down in South America at one point, but never in the United States.
The Florida Cup Party. On March the 6th, 1521, 3 Spanish ships under Ferdinand Magellan landed in Guam after a full weekend cruise across the Pacific Ocean. It was like really nice. He's having like pina coladas and stuff.
I don't even know what to say to that.
On September 28th, 1542, a Spanish aircraft led by Juan Rodriguez Gabrielo was in the Pacific. The parachute was deployed into the woods, where it was named San Miguel, St. Michael, now San Diego, California. Wow. In the 1560s, the French invasion, led by Dominique de Courcelles.
See, I'm not real familiar with this part of American history. I mean, I know the basics, but this isn't the part that I'm more expert
destroyed
on by any means.
Destroyed the Poeti San Matteo, and 27 euros. Damn.
I've got some euros in my pocket right now. I don't know why I have them in my wallet, but I actually have more euros in my wallet currently than I have any American cash. There, I've got a 50 euro note right there. Look at that. All right. Saving that. I'm going to need it in a few weeks when I'm in France and Belgium.
1580, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Malawi, Lithuania.
Wait, what?
Introduced a new Greek calendar on October the 15th, 1582. What is this strange joining of countries? Look how copyright that is. That is 3 copyright. On March 4th, 1629, King Charles V of England gave Queen...
There hasn't been a Charles V of England. We're only on Charles III now. There hadn't even been a Charles I yet at that point.
A New England card to take charge of a company in Metchat Bay.
King
Charles V.
I mean, there was a Charles V who was King of Spain and Holy Roman Emperor. He was the uncle of Catherine of Aragon, who was married to Henry VIII.
A 1662.
Not uncle, nephew. She was his aunt.
Charles II of England declared the river a Connecticut team. In 1663, King Charles II of England began a dispute over the planting of trees in Rhode Island and Pride.
So, I said there hadn't been a Charles I yet, but I think I thought we were talking about the 1500s, but now we're in the 1600s, so maybe I missed the date somewhere.
January the 5th, 1666, Cologne, Connecticut joins New
Cologne,
Hanoi.
Connecticut, New
Sorry,
Hanoi.
what? In the 1670s, it was Anglo-Dutch World War III. The Dutch fleet captured New York in August 1673.
So, New York City was originally New Amsterdam, and if you actually go down to downtown Manhattan, down by like Castle Clinton, which is where you get your tickets to go to the Statue of Liberty, you'll actually see there's a park there, and there's a memorial that talks all about New Amsterdam.
Under Cornelius Everest de Johnson, the Dutch military government in the Netherlands, 1673 euros on March 5th, 1674. August the 10th, 1680, the Pueblo Rebel took place.
The Pueblo
on
Rebel.
September the 14th, copyright. 1680, copyright. At the Santa Francisco de Nuevo Mexico Stadium, on August the 10th, 1680, the Pope led a rebellion of Pampa against Spanish capital, European culture and race.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
The what, Judge? On June the 3rd, 1686, the United States had 18 euros in the capital.
This is fantastic, because there was no United States and there were no euros at this time.
On the 9th of September, 1686, the Wrong Islands and the Royal Dynasty and the Connecticut Party
There's Connecticut
joined
again. Connecticut has been a big part of this so far.
New England. On the 9th of September, 1686, they're the Wrong Islands, sorry. The decline of the Vietnamese government, the colony of Massachusetts. So, like, we got Cambodia and now Vietnam. 1770s, Spain was founded
Wow, we just jumped all the way to the 1770s now.
as a colony of Los Angeles, California, and was founded from March the 3rd to the 26th, 1804. I think Spain was like maybe destroyed, and now California is now recolonized. On May the 20th, 1774, the Constitution of the Republic of Cambodia was
Why do we
adopted
keep getting
by
Cambodia?
the government of Massachusetts. That's when Cambodia dumped the tea into the harbour. On July 4th, 1776, when independence was declared from the United States. On
From the
January
United States.
15th, 1717, Britain declared independence. They're like, no, I'm leaving. On June the 2nd, 1717, the new Democratic Republic of the Laos People's Republic was named Vermont.
Who knew how much Southeast Asia was involved with early American history?
What is this event? Guangdong. Of March.
So that's actually a really good picture there of what the U.S. Capitol building used to look like.
Guangdong.
Before they added the bigger wings on either side for the House and Senate chambers, and before they put the new dome on top, which was only completed in the 1860s. It looked very different back then.
Of March the 4th, the 10th American Civil Rights Act went into effect on December the 15th, 1791.
I'm guessing that's supposed to be the first 10 amendments to the Constitution were ratified, which is the Bill of Rights, is what we call that.
It's progressive. Indiana geography was created. 7. First Babylonian War from 1801 to 1805.
Guessing that might be the war with the Barbary pirates.
The North Ohio River was recognized by the European
Ohio
Union
makes an
as the
appearance.
Ohio.
There is no North Ohio River. So if you're not familiar with geography, the Ohio River begins in Pittsburgh, modern day Pittsburgh. They call it Three Rivers. There used to be the football stadium. There used to be Three Rivers Stadium where the Steelers played. It's where the Monongahela and Allegheny rivers come together to form the Ohio River, and the Ohio River runs from Pennsylvania up and around the border between West Virginia and Ohio, and then the border with Kentucky and Ohio, and then it empties out into the Mississippi River at Cairo, Illinois.
Ohio River. On March the 1st, 1803.
That's the day March 1st, 1803 is Ohio's birthday. That's the day that Ohio became a state. 17th state.
Did they need the European Union involved for that? Battle of Figs in October 1804.
Battle of Figs. It's not Tippecanoe, is it? It's too early for Tippecanoe. Wow, this is really going in depth here.
The Middle East was organized and the Saskatchewan area was established on October 1st, 1804.
Saskatchewan is in kind of like central Canada.
Why does the Middle East get involved? On October the 27th, 1810, he became Florida ambassador.
He has
the
arrived.
United States.
So Florida kind of gets bounced around between Spain and the United States. It really is like, you know, when we think of the eastern United States, don't think of Florida as being part of all that, because that stays with Spain for quite a while.
The War of God in 1811. On June 18th.
Now, the War of in 1811, that's what we're talking about, Tippecanoe, and I'm guessing maybe we're talking about the Prophet, who I think that's what they called him, I think he was Tippecanoe's brother. Again, not a part of history I'm super familiar with. But yeah, November 7th, 1811 is the Battle of Tippecanoe. William Henry Harrison against Tenskwatawa, who, yeah, we know as the Prophet. I've always heard him called the Prophet.
1812. Britain and Ireland declared war. On August the 24th, 1814.
That's the Battle of Bladensburg. It
was a fire.
So the Battle of Bladensburg happens in August of 1814. That's the last time that you have a U.S. president really kind of on the battlefield for a battle. He wasn't like leading the troops, but he was present for the battle. James Madison. Washington gets burned as part of that campaign.
Washington State. I don't think Washington State exists yet. There was a fire. 1-2. Why? The United States declared the Algerian War on the 3rd of March, 1815. On the 11th of December, 1816, Indiana recognized Indiana. Thanks, Indiana. Thanks for the update.
So Indiana becomes a state. The 5 states that primarily make up what is called the Northwest Territory, which was established in 1787. It's really kind of what sets the stage for how new territories would be incorporated into the United States and how plans would be made for future states. So Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and I think a little bit of what becomes Minnesota are a part of the Northwest Territories.
1840s, the Apostle Paul wrote, "We rejoice that Jehovah has used his organization for all nations." Good. Florida was certified as Florida on March 3rd, 1845. Pollock became 11th president of the United
States. James Knox Polk becomes president in 1845?
States.
45 to 49?
March 4th,
yeah.
1845.
And yeah, it mentions there March 4th. So the inauguration day used to be in March. I think that changes. I want to say it's Franklin Roosevelt is the first president who's inaugurated in January, on January 20th, instead of on March 4th.
Right. On July 20th, 1846, Fidel Harbor arrived at the port of Japan. On May the 29th, 1848, he was dispatched to the Wisconsin Union, 30th, southwest of the Wisconsin Plains. Croatia Valley on August the 14th, 1848. Millard Billmore.
Millard Billmore instead of Millard Fillmore. That's fantastic.
I got some she lore on July.
Wait, we're gonna get she lore? Has there been she so far in any of this? I don't remember.
14th, 1853. She set out for Paris in the port of Oka, Japan. Huge she lore. Oh no! He died of a knee injury on December 29th,
How many times has he died now?
18.
So, wow, we went all the way to 1890. So this is Wounded Knee. This is what we know today as the Wounded Knee Massacre. So right at the end of what we call the Plains Indians Wars, there's this ghost dance movement, which has a very deep, like, religious component for the Native Americans in the Plains. But the United States government interprets it as a precursor to war, to rebellion, to insurrection. That's how the government sees it. And so they go to seize the weapons from this Indian settlement at Wounded Knee, and a shot rings out. And they end up slaughtering men, women, children. It's horrible. They give out a bunch of medals of honor to these soldiers who took part in it. I'd like to get there sometime.
1890. Jehovah's Witness in your congregation will be happy to help you in your education. Mount Sinai was killed on September 11th, 1857. February the 4th, 1861.
I'm guessing that might have had something to do with the war with the Mormons out in Utah.
7 slaves from South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas founded the American tribe.
So this is the 7 states that have so far seceded from the Union, and they form the Confederate States of America. The other 4 will secede in April and May. That's Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and North Carolina.
What actually happened there? So that's the formation of the Confederate States, but instead it's like a group of slaves making a tribe. So, on April 9th, 1865, the United Nations passed a law to close the sea.
Or no, that's April 9th. That's the day that Lee surrendered to Grant at Appomattox Courthouse.
Denia became the 11th state to leave the Union. Who? Who invited blood? Bro thinks he's on the team.
Bro thinks he's on the team. Love it.
Why is the European Union need to recognize?
That's when Nevada was admitted. Yeah, people forget that Nevada and West Virginia were added to the Union during the Civil War.
Nevada. Nebraska joined the European Union on March the 1st, 1867. The United States invaded North Korea June the 10th, 1871. On the 4th of July, 1876, to mark the 70th anniversary of the United States, John Island heard the news. What a good way to celebrate. Garfield became the 20th president of the United States.
Hey, now, to be fair, the cat is indirectly named after the president. It's kind of a quirky thing, but it has to do with, like, the cat got its name from a guy whose name was from the president, so it's kind of indirect. But yeah, and we learned recently that James Garfield's great-great-grandson is the one who created Magic the Gathering, the card game. Crazy.
Hawaii was born on July the 7th, 1898.
I think that's when it was annexed by the United States.
Baby Hawaii, there it is. From January 22nd, 1903 to August the 15th, 1914, the United States had the opportunity to create a way through the Panama Isle of Massachusetts. The U.S. Nashville Navy vessel undermined Colombia's efforts.
So, Panama had been originally part of what was Colombia, and as part of this whole scheme to get the Panama Canal built, the United States supports Panamanian independence, but gets that little sliver around the canal, and the Panama Canal Zone for decades will be part of United States territory.
And recruited a service team to cover the lives and service of Jesus. On January 17th, 1917, the United States bought the West Indies from Denmark. This is the whole thing is theirs now. And Denmark used to have it. Why is it important to have a balancing study of the Holy Ghost? Announcement of the war on Germans.
April 6, 1917, United States declares war on Germany.
April 6th, 1917. Why? Please let me know.
On the Central Powers, really.
April 1941. The United States was protected by Khalid Nut. Who's Khalid's Nut? Khalid Nut. September 1939 to September 1945, so World War II.
Yeah.
On October the 3rd, 1935, the Italian Empire invaded Egypt. On September 1st, 1939, Reich invaded Poland.
I mean, the German Reich invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939, and that's traditionally the day that people point to as the start of World War II. Some people try to argue that, the Sino-Japanese War that starts in the 1930s is part, and I understand why people argue that, but it really doesn't become a world war until September 1939.
Attacked by Empire Pearl, that's their online name. On December 11th, 1941, the United States declared the War of Germany and the
War
Italian
of
Empire.
Germany.
Your group will be happy to help you study.
So the United States initially declares war on Japan, then Germany declares war on the United States, so then the U.S. declares war on Germany. And I would guess probably Italy in there too.
Allied forces invaded Charles.
Oh, poor Charles.
July 9th, 1943.
So July 1943, are we talking about Sicily? I guess we're talking about Sicily.
Not Charles. Anybody but Charles. July 6th, 1944, Allied forces invaded Normandy.
So June 6th, 1944, we invaded Normandy. Awesome.
It's just usual. From November 3rd, 1944 to April 15th, 1945, Japan launched an intercontinental ballistic missile into the northwestern United States.
I'm guessing they must be talking about the balloons, the bomb balloons that were sent across the Pacific. And a few of them did explode in the northwest United States.
Damn, they're really fighting back.
ICBMs, impressive.
Oh no, I got some bad news about the Lithuania-Malawi. Malawi was destroyed on April 20th, 1946. Your group will be happy to help you study. I know, you've told me several times. The United States continues to send gymnastic forces to the Republic of Vietnam. From 1968 to 1970, Americans concealed Vietnam's wishes in Cambodia Hamburger Hill. Excuse me?
There was a Hamburger Hill. There's a movie about it.
March the 27th, 1973, a sorcerer was expelled from the People's Republic of Vietnam. Get out of here! On February the 7th, 1962, United States banned Cuba. It's over.
Just banned Cuba. Was that the Cuban? Is that the Bay of Pigs? I can't remember the exact date. That's probably the Bay of Pigs.
Neil Armstrong and Best Aldrin were the first to walk on the moon.
Hey, Buzz Aldrin's still kicking, man. That guy. And Neil Armstrong, I share a birthday with him, and he's from Ohio.
In July 2009. They were pretty old then. On December the 11th, 1972, Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt became the last Apollo astronaut to put...
So Gene Cernan and I don't know the other guy's real name, but yeah, last ones to walk on the moon until the Artemis mission that's coming up that'll put some people on the moon. That'll be exciting to watch.
Their feet on the moon. Ugh. Why do you have to say it like that? Cambodia celebrated the 2-day US National Day on July the 4th, 1976. Thanks, Cambodia.
Bicentennial 200th anniversary of the U.S.
Didn't we just bomb you? But thanks anyway. Cambodia's, they're just happy to help. Oh, I got some bad news. Helen died.
No, not Helen!
18th,
May 18th, 1980.
1980.
Who would have died? Oh, no, it's Mount St. Helens eruption. That's the earliest historic event that I actually remember.
On February the 26th, 1984, he joined international forces in Lebanon.
So there was a explosion of a U.S. Marine barracks in Lebanon. That might be the date of that. Killed like 200 and some U.S. Marines.
February the 28th, Islamic Republic of Cuba. On February the 24th, 1991, the United States and its allies invaded Kuwait and Iraq.
That's actually accurate. That did happen. We invaded Kuwait to expel the Iraqis from Kuwait, the Gulf War.
They were so annoyed by the Islamic Republic of Cuba. The 14th of December 1992, the United Nations sent humanitarian aid to Bosnia and Georgievina.
Who's supposed to be Herzegovina?
It's Georgievina. And then NATO bomb, yes. On December 19th, 1998, a US senator criticized Bill Clinton. On February 12th...
That must be when his impeachment took place, or the impeachment trial in the Senate?
2019, US President Bill Clinton rejected the US Senate.
No,
It took him a while, but he worked up because he said no. On January the 29th, 2002, President George W. Bush declared Iran The new Iran. New Iran just dropped. Homes have collapsed in the United States since 2006.
The housing bubble collapse.
Before, they were good. Since, been falling over all the time.
Bought our first home in 2007, right after that.
The war in Africa will end on August 30th, 2021.
Oh, there's more? It's a casket and an onion. What's going on? Figardius Green. All right. Wait, there's still 20 seconds left. All right, that's just the end of it. All right, that was fun. It's nice to sometimes just get a good laugh and do something a little lighthearted. I don't know what I'm going to do for a reaction tomorrow, so if you got suggestions or requests of things you'd like to see me do a reaction to, let me know in the comment section below. I'll put the links in the description as well as up on the screen to a few of my other StarvHarv reactions if you want to check those out. Thanks for watching.